Screamed and yelled at each other at the end of last hour. There's been a big kumbaya moment here in the studio. We gathered around Cary Clack and held hands and reviewed his colonoscopy tape, and now everybody has been brought.
A 20-year-old. That thing is impressive.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know. At times it was like natural bridge caverns, wasn't it? I don't know. It was.
How did you get the stalactites in there?
We were all startled when the bats flew out. Cary Clack is here, Jonathan Gurwitz, both from the Express News op-ed pages, and also J.T. Street, who is the, is it called Clicks on Fox? Is that what it's called?
Flicks on Fox.
Flicks.
Clicks is just groups of small people who go to different
Clicks
movies.
is my brother.
There you go.
Yeah.
Flicks on Fox, that's where you review the movie, but you don't watch the movie, right?
Clicks and Clacks.
All right.
I'm sorry.
This week, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors passed a law that will pretty much, I mean, there may be some loopholes, but pretty much end the practice of fast food restaurants giving a free toy in the kids' meals. Now, if they reach a certain very high nutritional threshold, meaning if the kids' meal is a bucket of oats, they can give the toy. But for the most part, that's the end of the Happy Meal, the Shrek character, the collectible drinking glass, and of course, McDonald's is very upset, and they're talking about legal action. The backers of the bill say we have to promote healthy eating habits. We have a problem with childhood obesity. We're just looking out for the kids. Granted, we have an obesity problem. I mean, nobody's going to deny that. Is this the right way to do it? JT, I would have expected you to jump in and say...
I was stunned by this. I remember being a fat kid, and I was never that into the toy. I just really liked French fries and cheeseburgers.
Are the kids eating the toys?
So, yeah, well, I hope not.
Maybe that's the
Maybe that explains the obesity.
Obesity and lead poisoning. No, they don't have lead in it.
Look, is this really going to... If people are overusing fast food, forget for a moment that I don't think the government should be telling you how to eat. But even if you believe they should... This doesn't even really make sense, Jonathan Gurwitz. People are craving the food.
Right. I mean, obviously the marketing works, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. But some incremental value, it works. Nobody...
And it's not really free because it's built into the price of the...
Right. So when when a parent says, I've worked all day, I don't feel like cooking, let's drive through.
Right.
That's the consumer. The consumer isn't the child, it's the parent.
Right.
No child, or very few children, take their allowance or their newspaper route money and ride their bikes to the McDonald's to buy their meals.
But children are very good lobbyists, though.
Yeah, right.
They say, I want that Happy Meal, and you go get that Happy Meal.
And believe me, I was there, Jack, you've probably been.
Yeah, oh, sure.
And
I'll tell you what I want them to get rid of is the little play place. That's the big lure.
We banned our children.
Get that thing out of there.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
That thing is ridiculous. I've had to climb up in there and get her out. She can have all the Shrek figurines she wants. Now let's step back for a minute. How far is the government going to go in the specific area of dietary control? I mean, really, how far are we going to go? Because everything that we talk about these days is stuff we used to joke about. I mean, we used to joke about making the Happy Meal against the law. And now they've done it. I mean, where does this end? Cary,
I'm a liberal. I have no
we've got cities banning trans fat.
Yeah.
We have cities demand, and you go to New York now, and it's hard to read the menu board. There's so much statistical information. You're trying to get a coffee at Starbucks, and there's an ocean. Looks like a spreadsheet up there. You're trying to figure out the price, and they've got the calories and the fat and the carbohydrates, and now they're saying we got to do something about salt. Here goes the toy and the Happy Meal. Somebody on San Antonio City Council is transcribing this San Francisco law right now for future use. I mean, where does it end? How about just we've given the people the information and they'll do what they do?
That's where it should be. We give you the information, you make the choices yourself.
Maybe, JT, if the government's in the healthcare business, though, it has to be in the nutrition business.
Back to your point about the nutritional information, I love that. I actually really, really like having that on there because my dad is a Catholic, so I'm a very guilt-ridden person because of that. So I can see that, and then instantly I'm taken back to my childhood of just incredible guiltiness for everything that I do. So I like.
So do the
having
calorie counts enable you to know exactly how guilty you should feel?
Exactly,
I see.
exactly. So when I
So it's no
grab
longer a
that-
vague sense of guilt.
Yeah, exactly. It itemizes that guilt for
see.
me. So then when I get that double Sonic burger or my, I want that extra bacon on there, I can then determine exactly how bad I'll feel about myself after I
Well,
eat.
I was on a trip, and there was a Starbucks in the lobby of the hotel, and in New York, and they had the nutritional information. And it turns out, this is very weird, that one of the healthiest pastries is the apple fritter. I realized I was getting a lot of apple fritters because, in a weird way, looking at the numbers, it looked like health food. Compared to it's not. It's terrible for you.
A fritter a day.
But it looked like it looked like health food compared to the other things on there. I think this is all just. I mean, sure, there are people that will take that information and maybe make good use of it. But can you really justify the government mandating and specifying and governing the choices of private businesses and our consumption and outlawing items that they disapprove of? And
I don't think you can justify it, but let me try. If I were to try and justify it, what I would say is that there are certain things that would be good for the populace as a whole, and there are certain things that would be bad for the populace as a whole. And if we are in the business of protecting people, then we need to protect people from those certain things. Now, I disagree
Then
with
why
that.
is the government so inconsistent in doing that? For example, it's government agricultural policies that have flooded the market with high fructose corn syrup. That's practically a government, that is a government subsidized material that we now know may be one of the worst things we're eating. The government also enables, and in some states even administers, the sale of liquor, which we now find out is worse for you than crack and heroin in a recent study. I mean, there's no consistency to this. This is about power. This isn't about taking care of people.
But there's some things, we can laugh about what San Francisco did because it's probably just going to stay in San Francisco, and maybe it'll go, down the West Coast somewhere. But there's not going to be a national movement to ban Happy Meals. It's not going to happen. I mean, you joked.
Not if Rick Perry's elected.
You joked about fed up. He's not fed up with Happy Meals, but you joked about San Antonio City Council. Somebody's transcribing it. I don't think. I just don't.
Jonathan, the panhandling ordinance, the plastic bags,
which went nowhere.
I'm not saying they'll pass it, but they are in
Texting
love
bans.
with it. They love it's San Francisco. They love that stuff. There's always somebody trying to make a name for himself, and this is how you do it in government.
Yeah, I think that has limited appeal. There's some of the other things like trans fats that has broader appeal. I mean, there are a lot of people who think if I could get my fries with something that isn't going to give me a heart attack as quickly as something that will, I'd rather have.
Well, when they get out of the what they now call corn sugar, high fructose corn syrup, they've renamed it because it has such a bad reputation. When they get out of that business of subsidizing that, then they can come talk to me about trans fat. But it's all
You're right.
phony.
You're right.
And I've even had people in this studio admit who have been on city council that the only way to make a name on city council is to pass stuff. And you got to pass high profile stuff. So as crazy as it is, when you're the guy that passes the texting ban, or you're the guy that bans the plastic bags, you now can go somewhere with that. But if you're just there filling in potholes and helping people get stop signs and paint the stripe, that you never go anywhere. Your political career never goes anywhere. So we've actually built a system that rewards the nannies and what's the opposite of rewards? Punishes? The people that are just giving us the sort of basic core services we say we want from government. And I think that's what this is. I mean, somebody's going to brag that they're the ones that killed the Polly Pocket in the meal.
I just feel terrible for the small disposable toy industry. I mean, this is going to be decimated to them. China's got to be pissed.
Yeah, China will probably attack us over this, you're right. This is a big, big blow to their economy.
Well, think what that's going to do to help our trade deficit.
Well, there you go.
What was
In a
that?
weird way, it's a
was an
very
economic
pro-business
What was
move.
that place in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with all the toys?
The Island of Misfit Toys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there'll be the island of formerly free toy. Somebody called in yesterday and said, could you have a loophole where you say, well, we'll charge people a penny or a dime for the toy? I'll bet you could, right? You just, the law says it can't be free. So just say to people, hey, for an extra penny, your kid gets the toy. Back to the drawing board, San Francisco. When we continue the lightning round on Gang of Four on News Talk 550 KTSA. All right, it's the lightning round. Let's just quickly move through some stories here. Starting with this one, and it starts here in Texas, but it's a USA Today story that says Texas is the first of apparently, or soon to be, many states that are looking at corporate sponsorship of license plates to help reduce the state deficit. So among the things that may happen, you may be able to put your company logo on the license plate. Like, you know, right now you can get your college or, something that says you support the arts or whatever. Or you might be able to just express affinity for your favorite brand or product. Like, it's not enough that you drive a Ford. You'd have to have like a Ford license plate. Is this a good idea? Could there be any pitfalls to this?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Make some money.
If you go to the Department of Motor Vehicles or Department of Transportation and you look, I don't think people
Isn't it
realize how many choices of license plates
It's
you
a
have
catalog.
now. Yeah, so why not?
I can
You know.
remember when your state. I can remember when your state had only one license plate, and it stayed the same for years, and everybody liked
We
it.
liked it.
What is going on with that? It's like everything. It's so personalized, and I just feel bad for those prisoners. They must be working night and day creating all of these customized license plates. All right, so we're okay with that. That's a good way to raise a little extra money that's not a tax on us. A Nova Scotia couple made news this week after winning an $11.2 million lottery prize. Alan and Violet Large have decided that they just don't need the money. They don't want the money. It's going to be more trouble. They don't have expensive habits. They don't travel. They don't gamble. Although I guess they gamble a little because they bought a lottery ticket. Liars! They say we like our house. We're comfortable in it. We don't want to move. They're both retired, and so they have turned back the money. I think they maybe should have consulted, got on that little green path that Fidelity has or something. I don't know.
They gave it back to the government, to the lottery?
They're giving it away. They don't want it.
That's admirable.
It's admirable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't. I don't think I have the. I would have the ability to do that. I would certainly be generous
Wouldn't
if
you
I
have like a family member or somebody you'd like to help?
Or some charitable.
Or put it. Well, they're giving it to charities, but I
Okay.
mean,
Okay.
I don't know.
I was just listening to that couple, house paid off, both retired, living comfortably. I was like, dang, I kind of want to go live in Nova Scotia. I can turn away my lottery money. I don't have to work till I'm 80.
Well, that's the funny thing too. I mean, if you think about it, our parents' generation has a kind of comfort in retirement that may never be, we may never see again. I mean, you think about it. Regular people that never made big money, they never had a big year or a six-figure salary, barely a five-figure salary, are actually very comfortable in retirement. They get a new car once in a while, they take trips. And you look at that from the perspective of people in their 20s and 30s and even 40s, and how did that happen?
Or 50.
What is the difference? I think the biggest difference is credit cards. Those are probably people that never ever used a credit card,
never. Never. They were living Dave Ramsey before Dave Ramsey.
Right.
They
I mean,
never had
they
debt.
might have had a mortgage on the house, and that was
it. Yeah.
They never owed money on anything else.
They also probably didn't work in the media.
And they did not work. Yes, we can all in this room. That's where we went wrong. Now you tell us. Have you heard about the latest Facebook controversy? Sometime this week, not exactly sure when. CNN thinks it might have been Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning when we were all distracted by the election. Facebook shrunk its font size. Now that might not sound like much, but apparently America has gone crazy with anger at Facebook. People are writing to Facebook. They're tweeting about this. The fonts, and I looked at it and I hadn't noticed it at first, but when I read the story, I realized it's much smaller. They've made everybody very, very angry. Facebook says it's just an experiment, and we're just trying it out. We might go back.